Warning, this game is being played on the Edge channel due to slight modesty concerns, body horror, and depictions of religion, magic, and soothsaying. Edge rating, high. Hello, and welcome to Desktop and Dice Edge, the gaming channel where you never know who's going to show up, and the gaming channel in the Dad Network where we play games that aren't exactly family friendly. In this run, we're going to be playing Strangeland. And the question for this particular run is, tell us about some of your crazy dreams. Because I'm thinking that this is kind of a dream-centric game. I've never played it before, so we'll find out. But what are some of your crazy dreams? Now, please keep them family friendly, but for each episode, give us different dreams that have wigged you out, or really strange, or really weird. Dreams are some of the most fascinating things out there, I think, actually. And unlike most runs, I'm not going to do what I tend to do, which is have you guess something. I'm not even going to put something in the comments. At the very end of this recording, I'm going to tell one of the dreams that I had that was freakishly real and actually kind of bled over into reality there for a second, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'll be telling that story at the very last episode. Don't miss it. But yeah. With that, let's get into the game.
There. What is that? Even I know better than to touch that. Someone once told me, the man who stands at a strange threshold should be cautious before he crosses it. But what else am I going to do? I did it! I made it back! Don't worry, I'm here. I'll get you out of there. It's not even locked. I'm here. What? What is that? No! Oh, this is always my favorite part. Like I told you, you always drop the ball at the end. No! Don't bother. I'm already inside your head. You know that. I've always been watching. watching you squander and ruin every single good thing in your life. Did you think you could win? Idiot. Take a good look at the setting you made for our little escapade. In your heart, you knew this was a carnival game. You knew life was a carnival game. Rigged from start to finish. It was never a matter of winning, just a question of how much you would lose before you realized it was time to quit. Well, ready to quit yet? Done yet? Aren't you sick of running? Your whole life. Running from that dark thing always just behind you, like a black dog. Hungry, angry, relentless. And you fed it, didn't you? Let it grow big enough to swallow the sun, didn't you? And now there's nowhere left to run. Too heavy to lift. I've fallen enough. I guess I'm nowhere. That's the thing with shadows. You can never escape them, unless you go into utter darkness. But you failed even at that. You're too worthless to even quit while you're behind, let alone to win. You really thought you could save her from that dark crab that had her in its clutches. After all, a man is meant to be the hero of his own adventure. But not you. You are just a husk. A rat. They don't have a cutting edge. I can't move with this noose around my neck. You, of all people, should know the playwright's truth. Death is never a tragedy. Death is where a tragedy ends. Now you're left with nothing but masks and metaphors, excuses and equivocations, and a woman always just out of reach. I've fallen enough. What do we make of a man who plays a deadly game, but only when the rules say he can't die? You're worse than a pawn. A sacrifice can't save your queen. And even if you reach the end of the board, she's not coming back. And it's all your fault. too heavy to lift. I guess I'm nowhere. Fraud. Weakling. I've fallen enough. I've fallen enough. Idiot. I can't reach them. That's not going to work. This is starting to feel like déjà vu, but not quite. Now, you're going to think I'm telling you about jamais vu for the first time, no matter how often we've already had this conversation. It's when you've heard something before, been somewhere before, met someone before, and yet it feels completely unfamiliar. If a man writes death 1,000 times, he starts to wonder, is that even a word? But it is. Oh, how it is. Failure. That's not how I crossed it before, and it's not how I have to cross it this time either. Fraud. Now we're getting somewhere. No. You're on a journey to nowhere, and you're wearing yourself to nothing. Do you really think you can escape me? I did it. I made it. But the dark thing, it's right behind me. There is no dark thing, you liar. These symbols are evasions. Crows, crabs, clowns. This grab bag of myths and masks and make-believe. It's all an evasion. She's dead. Do you understand? You can't talk your way out of that. You can't cut your way out of that. You can't imagine your way out of that. This figment, this fragment. Savor all you want, or don't. It doesn't matter. She's a fake, and you're a fraud. You already failed. You didn't save her. You can't. She's dead. This whole carnival is a lie. A funhouse mirror. Because you're too ashamed to look in a real mirror and see who you really are. You know I'm right. The only thing in your whole adventure that's ever been true is what I've been saying. I am your mirror. He's lying.
He's telling you facts. But what a mirror can show is a dim reflection at best. Our lives, ourselves, they're more than just facts. They're truths. And all those symbols let us see the world's truths through the eyes of another, as a lover's eyes show us our own bright selves. You saw me, and I have never stopped seeing you, my love.
But are you dead?
Yes, dead, not gone. I'm here, aren't I?
And that shadow of me, he's here too.
If there's a shadow in your mind, it's because there's a light in your mind to cast it. You thought I was the light, but it was always inside you. I saw it. The whole world is full of lights, shining in the darkness, like the sky is full of stars, and the field is filled with fireflies. You thought I caught you as you fell through darkness, but you were the light I saw. We caught each other. In here, out there, our light is still shining. And now, once more, you need to spread your wings and fly toward that light.
How? Every time I've tried to fly, I've crashed. And now the wings are gone.
You have what you need, my love.
He has nothing, and he will fly nowhere. Beyond this gloom in which you're hiding, there's just reality, as hard and sharp as a knife. Out there is what you're running from. Your black dog, your dark thing, your shadow. We are the reflection of a life you can't look in the face.
Don't look it in the face, my love. Look it in the eyes. And soar.
I'm supposing you could also use the knife. So, life, afraid to
Goodbye,
live.
my love.
Afraid to live. Choosing to live and living mean the frightening thing, but the blessed thing. strike some chords. Well, you know, with these games where you actually can finish them in one setting, kind of want, you know, credit to be given. So while this is going on, I will fulfill what I said I would do toward the end of this run, which is tell my story of a dream that was crazy. Of course, this turned out to be a story about something a little further than a dream, but being trapped in one's own psyche. Once again, I'm a psych major myself, so this was fascinating. And again, the word I would use for the metaphors was actually, the metaphors are delicious, which is a metaphor in and of itself. But so when it comes to my dream, I can't remember how old I was when I had this dream, but I dreamt, proper English, I dreamt that as a child I was with my parents at the top of the Empire State Building, and I didn't realize that the Empire State Building was basically fenced off at the top. I thought you could look over the edge, and I was dreaming that I was looking over the edge, lost my footing, and basically was hanging off the edge. You know, one of those harrowing things, but no one was paying attention to me. I couldn't get anyone to come help me, and my fingers started to slip, and I fell off, and I had one of those falling dreams. And you would think, I actually had a bunk bed at the time, you'd think I'd be actually falling out of the top bunk or something like that. No, I was in the bottom bunk. And I was actually on my stomach while I was sleeping at the time. And I dreamt that I was falling backwards, and then I turned in the dream, and I could actually see the creases of the concrete, like a little tiny square, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the lines on the two sides getting wider and wider, until in the dream I met the concrete. And you know what they say about you can't die in your dream? Well, I would say that's probably the closest I got. I don't think I was actually close to death, but it was the closest I got. my body believed that it hit impact at high velocity to such a point. And you need to understand something. What I was sleeping on had a mattress, but it didn't have a box spring. It was just a board under a mattress. And somehow my body in the middle of all that jolted so hard, it pushed me all the way through the mattress and I hit the board underneath like I was falling at high velocity. To the point that I came away from that. I woke up abruptly, having pushed my body somehow through the mattress, slamming into the board. And I woke up going, and that was bizarre. And I have no idea how I actually managed to have my body push all the way through the mattress. But it hurt. It felt like I actually was, once again, I had gained speed somehow and smacked into a wall. Obviously not to the point of falling off the Empire State Building. But, anyway, that was my bizarre dream. That was my, like I said, it kind of bled into reality a little bit. It's really interesting. So, well, I hope you enjoyed this run of Strangeland. The one part I didn't like is the tarot stuff. Probably going to blur that out. You might hear me talking about it, but I'm going to blur that out. But overall, I actually think this is a very good piece of art. Very get you thinking. Like I said, I kind of hold this at the same place that Dune has in my heart, which is there's things I don't totally agree with. In fact, there's things that I may not agree with at all. But that said, it fuels thought. It fuels consideration. It fuels really looking at the depth of what they were trying to go for here. And man, have I dealt with that voice that sounded like the darkness. And actually recently, as you can probably tell through some of these episodes, I've been dealing with some stuff, and I think it's so interesting. I picked this just randomly. I didn't really fully know what it was going to be about, but it struck some things that I've actually been dealing with when it comes to my spirituality, when it comes to my personality, when it comes to my understanding of living life, when it comes to my psyche, when it comes to my self-talk, which the darkness is your self-talk. Many times I've heard that part say failure. Even with this project, there's been so many hiccups and so many problems that it's like, what if I'm doing all this work? You know, this is just the beginnings. Hopefully, as things go on, we'll be able to work the bugs out. But there's this feeling of, what if I'm doing all of this and it's for nothing? What if it's we never create a product that people will actually enjoy at all? And so anyway, it's interesting. This struck a chord, and I really identify right now, actually, in a way. It's interesting. I'm going to enjoy editing this because I think I'm going to see things I didn't see before. As I remember, hopefully I'll jot those things down, and as I put out new episodes, I will try to maybe put those little tidbits, those things that I saw that I didn't see last time. But yeah. Again, I hope you enjoyed this run. I know I'm talking a lot at the end, but don't know what else to say other than I've been your host, Next Gen 8, and I look forward to the next time we play. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, I hope you consider joining our socials as well as look at our other channels and other creators. There should be links to that in the description below. Also linked below is a link to my Rent a Cyber friend where you can come have a personal conversation with me for a small fee. Now to do this, you need to be 18 years old or older, and if you're not 18 years old or older, you need to have a guardian log you in and stay in the room while we have a conversation. If they're unwilling to do that, then I'm sorry, we can't have that conversation. Just as a reminder, the question for this run is, what is the craziest dream that you have had? Now, keep it family friendly, and give us the craziest one on the first episode, and then give us other crazy dreams you may have had in other episodes as we go along. Also remember, there's no guessing game this particular run when it comes to my dreams. Instead, I'm going to tell you one of my crazy dreams on the last episode of this run. Of course, if this is the last episode of the run, you just heard that story. I hope you enjoyed it. Well, with that, I've been your host, Next Gen Nate, and I look forward to the next time we play.